Hello everyone. It was meant to start at 10. It's 10:01. You are incredibly on time, aren't you? I noticed a couple of people saying, when is this going to start? It started. How are we all? Friday morning. Good morning. I was so tired last night. I can't even begin to tell you. I was so tired and I didn't have a good night's sleep again either. So I just had to come off a phone call. Tracy LeVar Waters, you're not far wrong. It's coffee moaning. It's coffee moaning. Faith Goodman, that's a good topic. The end of handshaking. How do we feel about the end of handshaking? I couldn't care less. I've always found handshaking, Kiki always uses this description. She says, oh, Dad, thank God you're not like one of those men that walks across London Bridge and kind of like when he sees sort of young people, he goes and sort of bumps into people and knocks people out the way. And they're the kind of people that handshake. I mean, obviously, you know, in business meetings and everything, we always handshake. To be honest with you, in telly, you generally, if you'd met each other once before, you'll hug or you'll kiss on the cheeks. So I'm a hugger. I'm not a handshaker. I'm not a big formal handshaker. Are you handshakers? Anyone there? Is anyone going to miss handshaking? Is anyone going to miss handshaking? Erin C, I never know when it's appropriate to handshake. Stuart G, I hate handshaking. Yeah, I know. It's funny, isn't it? And also there's that funny thing, especially as a bloke when you're growing up. I mean, I've been in many situations where you'll shake a certain type of man's hand and they'll try and crush your hand. I mean, they might, sometimes they're not even trying, they just do. And I'm sure there are certain types of men who read so much. I mean, there's nothing, I mean, I hate a limp handshake, but I don't judge someone for that. I just hate handshaking. Daniela Kalura. That's a nice name, Daniela Kalura. Lee, hello Lee. You're going for a nice drinky winky later. Hope you have fun. Have 18 for me, if you wouldn't mind. I prefer a handshake. It means I can push people away if they go in for the... That's a good point. That is a very good point. It's a way of parrying an advance. Yeah, I know what you mean. And also, I find that people, you know, you sort of men, in men and women, there are those men and women who are sort of huggable. I'd say you're quite huggable, Lee. But do you know what I mean? There are men who I think other people assume are going to be all right with hugging, and actually, we're not necessarily all right with hugging. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to think. I mean, this is one of the other joys of, like, we had this commissioning meeting on Friday with the BBC, and you didn't have to do all of that welcoming and all that kind of malarkey. You know, you could talk within the webinar or within the Zoom call. I quite liked that. I don't know, I quite liked that. Yeah. But handshaking, I do think handshaking is I wonder if it's a generational thing. I do think it's a generational thing. My granddad would always say, you need to have a good, strong handshake. And I never really knew what he meant. Kimberly Higgs, if someone goes in for the handshake, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Ali Prentice, I find handshaking really weird and possibly dirty. Yeah, it makes me think of Donald Trump, doesn't it you? It makes me think of him. Sort of, where's your hand been? Start to think about it too much. No wonder bloody COVID was spread like that. Yeah, Lee, give us something on your channel, matey flip. I was literally talking to Nads. I was having a natter with her about your channel today. We do follow Lee on his YouTube channel, Lee Peart, and on his Instagram. He's a very witty, intelligent chap, very entertaining. He's got a good inside take on most things. I think you should do a sort of news flow, Lee, as well. I think you should do your news flow. It would be good. Joshua Pilling, I'm a handshaker, definitely not a hugger. Darren Boy, morning Mark, morning Darren Boy. Let me just get rid of that. I'm a hugger, Adele Ward. Leo, I can't wait for hugs. Oh, you can't wait for them to come back. Yeah, I know what you mean. Purple Snowdrop, it's easier for me not to as I need to use a walking stick and it's in my right hand. It's a good point. Maria H, prefer a fist pump. Yeah, what other ways are there? There's a hug, there's a kiss on the cheek, there's a handshake, I'm up for curtsying. Yeah, I am going to go for a haircut at some point. Do you know what? It's less about actually the hygiene, it's more about the intense long conversation that I have to have. I'm not up for it yet. Plus also my hairdresser's right bang in the centre of Soho. Etiquette dictates that women are supposed to hold out their hand to a man first. Felicity Cook. My God, do you observe etiquette? Apparently Debrett's etiquette, fine. Debrett's etiquette is having to publish an entirely new set of rules for etiquette in lockdown, or etiquette post-COVID. You know, what you must and mustn't do. Prefer a fist pump too. Sorry I missed you live last night. Don't be sorry. We don't expect everyone to catch everything. They're always there for people to catch up on. Morning mark from Australia. It's 7 p.m. Friday evening, dark and rainy. Is winter incoming? Is what's the phrase? Winter is coming. Is winter coming in Australia? I'm about to take Nanny Di a cup of tea up to her. And then I'm going in there to do some editing. How was Poogate? Don't go there. I'm still curious to know who it was. I'm still not convinced it was either one of the dogs. James McMahone. I find it difficult for a guy with small hands. I find handshaking awkward. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't got a strong hand grip, or if you've got a tiny hand, or like a lot of people with nervous anxiety, when I was younger, I used to worry that my hands sweated too much. I don't know if they did. My girlfriends did. But, you know, maybe you just don't want to put your hand in someone else's hand. Do you know what I mean? It's quite sort of, I don't know, it's quite... Kimberly Higgs, if someone goes in for the handshake, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it's that kind of hi. I always find it slightly aggressive, if I'm honest. It's kind of like, I'm going to take control of this social situation. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to drag you into this social situation, especially when it's a handshake and then an arm that sort of steer. Mind you, I rarely have that happen, but I think I'd probably wrestle them off me. Do you know what I mean? Travis O'Connor, it's a little ego trip sometimes. Yeah. I'm sorry, there's a fly that's landing on my... And one of the girls, has misplaced as Zapper. And I'm looking at that fly, and I know that fly, in a like Irvine Welsh novel sort of way, is looking at me with its beady eye going. And you know when you bat a fly, you know for flies, we're going like that. So we're never on time. Claire Smiley, are you struggling, my darling? I see people are suggesting you take deep breaths. Total Storm Addict, how are you? How's it groovy in the outback? Claire Smiley, it's good. If you're having a panic attack, you do sit back. Probably not the best thing to do is watch something like this, because I am manic most of the time, and I'm probably not the best thing for someone having a panic attack. But I would take deep breaths, seriously breathe into a bag. Or what I often do, I think Nadia said this, is lie on my back or on my front on a cool floor. So maybe in your bathroom if you've got a linoleum floor. Wasn't expecting to use the word linoleum. Good morning, Seema Hussein, Alison Baxter. Last day at mainstream school today. So, God, that's interesting. Hard not being able to give hugs out to say our goodbyes. Thank you for singing my name last night, Sarah Davies. What can I say? You know. Where's your fly spinner thing? It looked good on the vlog. Yeah. Oh, the fly spinner. I don't know where things get put. They just disappear. Hello, host, shout out. Pinay Chibwana. Where's your fly spinner thing? Don't know, Kay. We've not thought about the handshake. Oh, sorry, lost you. Meet up with my daughter the other day. It was her birthday and I hugged her. I've not hugged her for months and I just hugged her, but I just got a negative COVID result. Louise Jones. That's okay. Isn't that all good? I think that's good. Claire Ross Reed. Good morning, my darling. Skylease, watched and enjoyed as many vlogs as I could last night to give it the views they need. Oh, bless you. You're very sweet, very supportive. Well, hello, Georgina Duffy. Caught alive. I love your fly spinner. Done 9977. We have not thought about the handshake like this before. I haven't anyway. I have. I mean, when you go to, I've been to a lot, you go to a lot, when you go to a lot of business meetings, excuse me, I'm gonna have to do that all the way through it. When you go to a lot of business meetings, everyone, you've always got that sort of, how do I deal with this? Good evening, Mark. Brenda McGee. Absolutely freezing in New Zealand. Winter has come. In that case. Oh, by the way, guys, Confessions of a Modern Parent landed this morning. It was a curious one. It was a really curious one. I think, if I'm honest, it wasn't that we didn't want to do it out of a professional negligence. I think we just were worried that we weren't in a good place. But I think that in itself makes it an interesting podcast. So Confessions of a Modern Parent, you can get it on your iPhone. You can get it on the podcast app, just search it, or Global Player, they have an app, or Google Play, I think online, and Spotify. So Confessions of a Modern Parent, it is a curious one. Nadia's done a tweet about it. It is a curious one. It's about our children's futures and how we can best, I mean, not just children's futures, but young adults' futures. You know, I think me and Nadia have both been very affected by how impressively, you know, young adults like my daughter Izzy, Fleur, you know, Nadia's friend Lee, how they've kind of coped or managed or sort of troubleshot, you know, within this crisis. But at the same time, there's a bigger overarching question, isn't there, about the future? And I think this whole thing has made us focus on, I've said it many times in the past, and I don't want to say it again, but, you know, focus on what's meaningful and what were we doing in our previous lives that we want to carry on doing and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think it presents some real challenges for young adults, I think, because, of course, you know, what are the narratives? What's the narrative looking forward? So that's all the kind of stuff that we discuss on our podcast today. But yeah, so the news of the Glee actress, sadly there's footage. There's footage, last CCTV footage of her, I think on the beach, getting into the boat and things like that. But it's a very strong assumption that she's not going to be found alive. We're presuming that an accident happened, and we're presuming she drowned in the lake. So, you know, our heart goes out to her family, and Naya Rivera is just tragic, just absolutely tragic. I've never been a Glee. I've never watched Glee, so I don't necessarily know the gig. Is anyone else a Glee fan? Yeah, absolutely right. Dushara Sivampu. Suzanne Stone, really happy to be able to see my nan next week. Oh, that'd be nice, Suzanne. Linnea morning, Mark, my wee granddaughter's heading in the right direction. That's brilliant news. It's a very slow process, though, still hell of a worry, but trying to stay positive. Dawn Claricoats, of course you can have a shout out. There you go, my darling. I think you have had a shout out because I've said your name. That surname is brilliant. So yeah, never heard of Glee, if I'm honest. Yeah, it was huge back in the 2010s. I remember it back then. I didn't think it was still a thing. I didn't realise it was still such a thing. Oh, there we go. Darren Boy, huge Glee fan. Emma Carter. Oh, delighted you won. That's so cool. You're Emma Bev 666. You won the book prize. I agree. It's like the first person to hold out the hand. Oh yeah, going back to the handshake. Beverly Moran is the one who tries to take hold of the situation in a handshake. It makes the other feel awkward. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so yeah, no, tragically sad, I think, the whole Glee thing. And, you know, it sort of reminds me of, do you remember the Natalie Wood case? You know, those incidents where, you know, tragedies happen in boats and what have you. I mean, I can only assume that she just either popped in for a moment or they were both getting out and they didn't get out together. I mean, it's yeah, tragic, absolutely tragic. So sorry, I'm just pulling up my news flow here. It just keeps flipping off my not a Glee fan, but my heart goes out to her son. So sad, Hannah Prentice. Now, is anyone going to the gym? Is anyone pleased that the gyms are open? You see, of all the places I probably wouldn't want to go, it's the gym. But then I wouldn't really want to go to a pub. Not because of the drinking, just because there's something sort of quite pokey and sort of, I don't know. Dates, Maria H. You've been eating dates. You're going to the gym in my house. What's the update in America? I think America's still going upwards, all their cases. I'm not, no. Apparently you can get tattoos now. I think beauty salons are open. So if I wanted to, I could get my nails done. I could get a tattoo on my back of Nadia screaming Mark. And I could then go and run on a treadmill and show off my tattoos. Brilliant. Just like things were pre-COVID, hey? Christina C, I'm desperate to get swimming again. I've been referred for a knee replacement, Millie, and physio has recommended a gym for the butt. Yeah, I think Nanny Di's excited a bit about getting back to the gym. It's as much about getting out of the house, isn't it? I mean, we can all recreate the gym at home. I mean, I do all the bloody time. But yeah, I could get my nipples pierced as well, Nicholas Sinnott. You're absolutely right. I think they're allowed now, aren't they, at the moment? I think you can do that too. But yeah, you know, I think it's as much about getting out. And there's a lot of classes that happen, certainly for seniors in gyms, which is their main sort of social connection, isn't it, really? I know Nanny Di's really missed it. She's been doing them on Zoom, bouncing around her flat. You'll have to see the vlog. She ordered something which was basically a gym accessory, and it was very funny. I don't think it quite came in the manner that she thought it was going to. Laura, missing all the music festivals. Yeah, have they talked about? I mean, they're talking about outdoor theatres opening, which is a step in the right direction. Does that mean outdoor gigs? Curious to know, isn't it? Oh, lots of people saying, no, I love Joe Wicks. Yeah, I wonder if this will be a down tick for Joe. I wonder if Joe will sort of reduce his PE teacher for the nation thing now that gyms are opening. Yeah, so gyms are opening. The more I go out, the more my mental health suffers, Deborah Rogers. Really? Okay. Salsa Trish, going to see 6 at a drive-through soon. I know what you mean about going out. It had a downward effect on me and Nads when we were in town the other day. We thought it would cheer us up, and it actually depressed us. So it is hard. It is hard because you're sort of reminded, not that it's as bad as it was, but that it's not back to as good as it could be, or was, if you know what I mean. Oh, Joe is finishing this week. I'm not. I'm going to carry on doing Joe until the day I die. How do you go to the gym on my lunch hour? How do you go to the gym on my lunch hour every day? I do miss that. 50% off at restaurants, Mandy Dennis, August, Monday till Wednesday to help economy. Yeah, I just don't know how many people, I don't know. I've just got to worry that people are just going to change. Do you not think habits are going to change quite fundamentally? Do you not think, do you know what I mean? Do you think people are just not going to not do as many things as they do? I mean, I suppose that's my concern for cinema, you know? Shirley Moss, did we leave you on the cliff edge of where we might be going away? I'm going to leave that cliff edge. Mark, could you please wish my son Jamie a happy birthday? Kimberly Higgs. Happy birthday, Jamie. Happy birthday. Nadia likes to sing. I don't like to inflict that agony on you. Sharon McGann, morning, a bit late, don't worry. You can always scroll back and watch the rest of this. So what are your weekend plans, guys? What are your weekend plans for this weekend? Have you got, it's the second weekend after Super Saturday. Does that mean it's, I don't know, sort of all right Sunday? What is it? What are you doing this weekend? How often do you do Joe Wicks, Mark? I do it 5 days a week, and then on the 2 days I don't do it, I either do a long walk or a run. Rest days are as important as workout days. It's true. It's true. It's so true. I'm going to Glendalough tomorrow. Beverly Moran. What's Glendalough? Sounds exciting. Chester Zoo, Gemma P. Wow, yeah, the zoo. That's a good idea. I wonder if we'll have a sort of resurgence of going to things like that. You know, simple pleasures, simple day trips. Like a simple day trip to a motoring museum. Nothing, Anne Marie Franklin. Going around to friends, Alice Bradley. Lots of gardening, Shelley Moss, barbecues, walking on the beach, Zoom family get-togethers. That sounds fun. Gabrielle Boris is leaving it up to us as to what we do. Beach with where I live in Devon, Henrietta Henson. Doing nothing this weekend, still waiting to get back to Leicester to visit my family, not seen them since March. Finishing putting our mosquito nets up. Oh, crikey, where are you? At the windows, Claire LC. Susan Stone, I've got the grandkids here now, they're on the trampoline even though it's raining. Oh, gardening. Well, yeah, I'm trying to convince Nanny Di to do a bit of gardening. Everyone seems to be getting back to normal, and I feel like my mental health will take months to get back to normal. Travis O'Connor. Yeah, you can't rush it. I think you just have to take it, you know, a minute by minute, day by day, and it's hard. I think we're all struggling. I think we're all going to be surprised by how we're struggling. Do listen to our confessions. I mean, sometimes to hear other people struggling is some part of the answer, isn't it? It's to know that you're not on your own. You're not. You know, it's not unusual what you're going through. I mean, it doesn't help what you're going through, but it at least helps the feeling of isolation in your thoughts. Because I think sometimes that's the worry, isn't it? I think that's where social media can be so useful. You know, you can connect with people. Georgina Duffy, happy birthday. Celebrating your birthday this weekend. It was actually on Wednesday. Happy birthday for Wednesday. Too late for a birthday shout out? Happy birthday, Georgina Duffy. Not too late at all. Kathleen Yates, you're on vacation next week. Courtney Garrett, working a new job at Pets at Home. Good on you. That's good news. Claire Smiley, getting my 11-year-old niece overnight tonight. This is why I have to go out to shop today to get her ice cream. Aww. Jen's Marked, loves the GFH, Green Fingered Hell vlogs. Yep, there will be another one coming later. I found I'm scared to meet others outside my family. I know, it's hard, isn't it? It is hard. Let's get rid of that. I was very surprised that you mentioned you had half siblings, Mars Kid. Oh, I know. It is strange, isn't it? Thank you for all your content and vlogs. They totally kept me going through all of this. Millie123H. Everyone hit the thumbs up icon. Later today, a Green Fingered Hell will be going up at some point. We're going to be filming stuff. I'm also editing in the other room, personal stuff that I'm doing, work stuff that's not social media-y. So there will be time later. There will be a Green Fingered Hell going up later. There might be, depending on how I feel and depending on what Nadia's doing, there might be a little surprise, little something later as well. So, so look, have a lovely day and stay safe. And whatever you do, just remember. And I will be doing a mental health chat. I've decided at some point over the next couple of days, just to plug in a live one so that we can all plug in together. But stay safe and try and sit and take things easy. And if you feel things are overwhelming you, or you think feel things are rushing at you too quickly, the world isn't going to stop if you, as we've discovered for the last 4 months, it's not really going to stop totally if you sit down and take stock. So if you're feeling a bit panicky, a bit overwhelmed, a bit stressed, a bit, just take 5 minutes and sit down and stop. Turn all your tech off, turn all your screens off, and just sit, regardless of whether you're inside, outside, in a lounge, wherever. Or if you're in a house that's full of people, go to a room on your own. Go to the toilet if needs be. Just stop and don't take your phone. All right, guys, lots of love and see you later. All right, bye.